Hello everyone. Uh, okay, today we are going to explain to you how to do integer addition and subtraction. I've come across some of my students which have issues doing addition and subtraction of the integers. So I just want to go through this method and quickly explain it to you. So let's say that we have got two integers, like 3 and 7, and they might be positive or negative. So it might be -3 and 7, or 3 and -7, and -3 and -7. So if we're going to do addition and subtraction of these, let's say that we have a combination of these. 3 minus 7. Or if we have got 7 minus 3. Or we have got -3 plus 7. Or we have got -7 plus 3. We also can have -3 minus 7, or 3 plus 7. So with the integers 3 and 7, we can have 6 combination of numbers, negative or positive. So how we're going to do all of these together? Let's say, so I want to give you a rule so that you can apply it and get the answer. Many of us know this from the primary school. So 7 take away 3 would be just 4. So most of us knows this answer. That's the very easy part. When it coming to dealing with the negative integers, how we're going to do these bits. And also we know this one, 3 plus 7 is also 10. So the rule which I'm going to tell you is that, first of all, you're going to write two numbers with brackets. So a minus b, you're going to write it at a plus minus b. So if you have got 3 minus 7, you write it as +3 plus -7. Or if we have got -3 plus 7, you write it as -3 plus 7. Or if you have got -7 plus 3, you write it as -7 plus 3. So basically, you're converting just a simple addition or subtraction into addition of integers. So this is one integer, negative integer and positive integer, or negative integer and positive integer. So these are all converted into addition of integers. So this would convert into -3 plus -7, addition of two negative integer. Now, how we're going to do these bits? First of all, we look at the sign. Are the sign the same or different? In this one, the sign 3 and -7 have got different sign. This one is different. This one is different. In here, it's the same. Both of them are negative. So the first thing is that we have got two numbers. Two integers. And we rewrite them as addition. Like above. And then we decide are they the same sign or different? If they're different sign, we calculate the difference of two absolute integer. What do I mean by that? For example, we have here 3 and -7. So I just forget about the sign at the moment, and I just find the difference between the positive absolute value. I forget about the sign, and I find the difference between 3 and 7. So the difference between 3 and 7 would be 4. How about this one? The difference between -3 and 7, difference between, so basically I ignore or forget about sign here. So I just say that it's 3 and 7. The difference between 3 and 7 will be 4 again. And the difference here between -7 and 3 would also be 4. So just write the difference here. Then what I'm going to do next, I need to find what sign I'm going to write. So basically, I found the value which I'm going to write down here. And the value would be difference of absolute value. By absolute value, what I mean is what I ignore the sign. So if it's -7, I will just say 7. And if it is -3, I'll just 3. And then take away the smaller one from the bigger one and find the difference. So in here you can see that the difference between 3 and 7 would be just the bigger one, take away the smaller one. 7 take 3 would be difference with 4. And in here again, the difference between 7 and 3, so I ignored the sign, so I just said the difference between 7 and 3 would be 4. Excuse me. Now I need to find what sign I need to write in front of this force. In order to decide that, we decide the sign based on the sign of the number who has got bigger absolute value. So in this example, -7 and 3, so the absolute value of 7 and 3, so the absolute value is 7, so absolute value means that we ignore the sign. So which one is bigger? The 7 is bigger. So therefore, I would go for the sign of -7. This will become -4. And if I want to go for this one, in terms of absolute value of -3 will be 3, and absolute value of 7 plus 7. So which sign has got which one is the bigger? 7. And the sign of 7 here is a plus. So I just go as a plus sign here. So basically, these signs go there, these signs go there. And then in here, again, 7 has got the bigger absolute value, so the sign will go for the sign of answer here would be decided by the sign of the bigger number here, which is -7. So basically the answer here would be -4, 4, -4. So then choose the sign of number with bigger absolute value. And put it there, and then final answer. Now, what if that I have got the same sign here? So when we have got the same sign, we just ignore the sign for the time being. The absolute value of -3 would be 3, and the absolute value of -7 would be 7. So just add them up. So 3 plus 7 would be 10. And then, because both are negative, I just put a negative sign in front of them. In this case, we already know that, but the same rule could apply. So in here, I would say that, okay, this is basically, could be a 3 plus 7, so addition of two positive integers. So again, the absolute value of 3 and 7 would be 3 and 7 because they're positive. And what I do, I say that, okay, now 3 plus 7 would be 10, which I already know that. I just want, and I will go with the sign of both, which is because they're the same sign, I'll just put plus 10. And plus 10 is basically the 10. So you can now see that we calculated all of the cases. So we first decide whether they're the same sign or different sign. If they're different sign, we just normally work out the difference between the two values, and then for the sign, we choose the sign of the bigger number. And if they're both negative, we just add the absolute value, and we'll put -10. We can also show this on the number line. Let's here, for example, 3 minus 7. If we want to go for number line, let's say this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. -4, -5, -6, -7. So always we start from 0. And then we've got 3. 3 means that 3 is plus 3. So if you do not say any sign, that's positive. So start from 0. So if we have got 3, I would just go 3 to the right. 1, 2, and 3. Now we'll come to the next one, -7. So minus means that I need to go to the left rather than to the right. So plus means that going to the right, 3 units going to the right, and -7 means that I go 7 units to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So my final answer would be -4, which is the same value I got with this rule. We can show that this number line rules works with the others as well. So basically we can calculate or simplify this addition of integers with the same rules. So I would say 7 minus 3. So if we go for the number line, we already know that 7 take away 3 would be 4. But we can show it on the number line as well so that we can see that one. So let's say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, as I start with 7, I go from 0 to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now I reach to minus 3, but it's a minus, so I go 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. So my final answer is 4, which we already know that. And that's what we've got in here. So you see that even for the using number line, we get the same answer. So we do the other one, which is minus 3 plus 7. Minus 3 plus 7. 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So start with minus 3. So minus 3, we go back to the origin. We always go for the 0. Since it's the minus, we go 3 to the left. We get to the minus 3. And then we have got the plus 7. So minus sign would be go to the left, plus sign would be to the right. I will go 7 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I get the answer of 4, which is the same answer I got down here with previous rules, which I explained it to you. The other one would be minus 7 plus 3. Let's move it down the other side of the page because we don't have a space down here. So minus 7 plus 3. So how are we going to do this? So with number line, zero, 1, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, and minus 7. So again, it's minus 7. So from 0, I go 7 to the left, because minus is left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then I come to the next one, plus 3. So plus 3 means that I go 3 to the right, because plus means going to the right. So 1, 2, 3. So I got the answer of minus 4, which we already know that from the previous answers. So minus 7 plus 3 would be minus 4. Now we have it down here with the number line. So with either of those rules, you can get to the answer. At the beginning, you can use the number line, but obviously as you progress, you want to switch to that rule because that's easier and quicker. And when you come to the bigger numbers, it's not easy to draw them on the number line. For example, if you go to 19 or 17 or 2 double-digit numbers, it's bigger. So it's not easy to draw them on the number line. So it's easier to use the first rule, which I thought, Sorry. It's easier to use the rule. Basically, as a recap, we have two integers. We rewrite them as like this. So addition of two integers with two signs, so that we could differentiate with the two signs. Then we decide whether they're different sign or the same sign. If they're different sign, we calculate the difference between absolute value, meaning the difference of the numbers without considering the sign. Just assume that they're positive and take away the smaller one from the bigger one. And then we need to find the sign of the final answer. The sign of the final answer coming from the sign of the number with bigger absolute value. So if you forget about the sign, positive and negative, which one is the bigger one? Which one has got the bigger absolute value? And I choose the sign of that one. So basically, because when we say absolute value, that might be confusing for some of the primary school or schools in early in the high school. So basically, absolute value of -7 is 7. So I ignore the sign down here. If I want to compare the two integers, obviously 3 is bigger than -7. Any positive integer is bigger than any negative integer. But what in here I mean, if I ignore the sign or only considering the absolute value, now I can say that the absolute value of -7 is 7, and the absolute value of -3 +3 would be 3. Then I compare the absolute value of -7, which is 7, is bigger than 3. So I go with the sign of the bigger one, -4. But this shouldn't confuse you if you have got 3 and -7, -3 is always bigger than 7. But the absolute value of 3 is less than absolute value of -7, because absolute value of 3 is 3, and the absolute value of -7 would be 7. So therefore 7 would be less than 3 would be less than 7. So hope it helps. See you in the next video.